Life is nothing but a series of choices. Every morning we wake up, and from that moment, we are constantly deciding what to eat, how to speak, where to go, and most importantly, how to respond to life's challenges. Some decisions bring us joy, while others leave us with regret. But have you ever wondered what truly makes a decision right? Is it success or is it peace? In this speech, I will guide you on how to make the right decisions, not just with the mind, but with wisdom, clarity, and purpose. Clarity comes before decision, and this is one of the most important truths we often overlook in our daily lives. Most people rush into choices simply because they feel pressured by time, influenced by emotions, or driven by fear of missing out. But when the mind is clouded with confusion and the heart is restless, decisions tend to go wrong. Clarity is like the light of a lamp in a dark room. Without it, every step is uncertain and we may stumble in the wrong direction. But with clarity, every move feels more confident, more secure, and more aligned with our true purpose. When you are clear, you understand not only what you want, but also why you want it. Many people chase dreams, careers, or relationships simply because others are doing the same. They take decisions without asking themselves, is this truly what I need? Is this truly what will bring me fulfillment? Clarity forces you to pause and reflect on the bigger picture. It makes you ask the right questions before you jump into an answer. Without clarity, decisions are just reactions to circumstances. With clarity, they are conscious steps toward growth. Think about a student choosing a career. If the student lacks clarity, they may choose a profession because of peer pressure, societal expectations, or financial fear. But later they may realize that the choice was not aligned with their inner calling. On the other hand, when clarity is present, the student takes time to understand their strengths, interests, and long-term vision. That clarity becomes the foundation on which the decision is built, leading to a path of greater satisfaction and less regret. Clarity also helps in reducing the weight of overthinking. Many times, people get stuck in an endless cycle of what ifs. What if this fails? What if I lose everything? What if people judge me? The absence of clarity makes small doubts grow into giant fears. But when your mind is clear, the fog of what ifs disappears. You can see the situation as it is, not as your fears paint it. Instead of worrying about 10 different outcomes, you focus on the one that matters most. Another aspect of clarity is emotional balance. Decisions taken in anger, excitement, or fear rarely lead to long-term success. Emotions are like waves, they rise and fall. If you base a decision only on the peak of an emotion, you may regret it once the wave calms down. Clarity, however, comes from stepping back, observing your emotions, and then allowing reason and wisdom to guide your choice. It doesn't mean ignoring emotions, but rather aligning them with rational thought. Clarity gives you confidence. When you are clear, you don't feel the need to constantly seek validation from others. You know why you are making a certain decision, and that inner conviction makes you stand strong even when the world questions you. Without clarity, you will always look for approval and reassurance because deep inside you are unsure. Clarity does not mean knowing everything about the future, because no one can. It means knowing enough about yourself and your present situation to make a choice you can own. It means being honest with yourself about your values, your goals, and your limitations. Once that light of clarity shines, the decision you make may not always be the easiest, but it will surely be the most authentic to who you are. Balanced mind and heart is the art of making decisions that not only make sense, but also feel right. Life constantly places us in situations where logic says one thing and emotions say another. The mind wants security, stability, and calculated steps, while the heart longs for passion, connection, and risk. If we lean too much on the mind, We may live a life that looks perfect on the outside, but feels empty on the inside. If we follow only the heart, we may end up chasing desires without considering the consequences. True wisdom lies in bringing both into harmony, allowing them to work together rather than against each other. The mind is like a compass that shows direction, while the heart is like the wind that gives us the energy to move. If you use only the compass without the wind, you remain still, safe but stagnant. If you follow only the wind without the compass, you may move quickly but lose your way. But when both are aligned, the journey becomes purposeful and fulfilling. That is why balance is essential. Decisions made with this balance are sustainable because they are both rational and emotionally meaningful. Think of someone choosing a career path. The mind may say, pick a stable job that pays well and secures your future. The heart may say, follow your passion, even if it doesn't promise money right away. If a person chooses only with the mind, they may succeed financially but struggle with emptiness. If they choose only with the heart, they may feel fulfilled but suffer constant financial stress. Balance in this case would mean finding a path where passion can be nurtured while also ensuring stability. It might be starting with a secure job while building the passion project on the side until it becomes viable. Relationships also teach us the importance of balancing mind and heart. The heart may be drawn to someone deeply, but the mind must also ask if this relationship is healthy, respectful, and sustainable. Love alone cannot keep two people together if the relationship lacks trust, values, or alignment of goals. At the same time, if one chooses a partner purely based on logical checklists, the relationship may lack the warmth and emotional connection that make it alive. A wise choice involves both the joy of the heart and the reasoning of the mind. The struggle often comes when emotions are intense. Anger, love, fear, or excitement can drown out logic completely. In those moments, the balance gets disturbed and decisions become impulsive. The key is to give emotions time to settle before letting the mind analyze. Similarly, overthinking with the mind can paralyze action and stop us from listening to the gentle whispers of the heart. Balance requires patience, awareness, and the humility to listen to both voices equally. When mind and heart work together, life feels aligned. Your choices bring peace instead of regret, fulfillment instead of emptiness. Balance does not guarantee a perfect path, but it gives you the confidence that whatever decision you take is both meaningful and practical, both wise and heartfelt. It is in this balance that the best decisions of life are born. Short-term versus long-term consequences is a perspective that often decides whether our decisions lead us toward growth or regret. Many times in life, we are tempted by what feels good right now. The quick reward, the immediate relief, the fast escape. These are attractive because they satisfy us instantly. But often, what feels good in the short term may cost us heavily in the long run. At the same time, what feels hard in the short term may be exactly what creates a better future. Learning to see beyond the present moment is what separates wise decisions from impulsive ones. Imagine a student preparing for exams. The short-term choice may be to scroll on the phone, binge watch shows, or spend hours with friends. It brings pleasure and relaxation in the moment, but the long-term result could be poor grades, stress, and lost opportunities. On the other hand, choosing to study now, even when it feels tiring or boring, ensures long-term benefits like knowledge, confidence, and success. The short term may feel heavy, but the long-term reward outweighs the temporary discomfort. This principle applies to almost every area of life. In health, for example, eating junk food provides instant taste and satisfaction, but it harms the body over time. Regular exercise, on the other hand, may feel tiring in the moment, but it strengthens health and energy for years to come. The same is true for finances. Spending money impulsively on things we don't really need brings temporary joy, but saving and investing creates a secure future. Those who can weigh short term comfort against long term gain often make decisions that lead to stability and success. However, this does not mean we must completely ignore the short term. Life is not only about sacrificing today for tomorrow, it is about balance. There are times when short term joys are necessary for mental peace, rest, and motivation. The challenge is to ensure that these temporary pleasures do not destroy our future. A wise decision is one that considers both the immediate effect and the lasting impact. The short term is about how we feel now, while the long term is about who we become later. One of the reasons people get stuck in short term thinking is impatience. The mind wants results quickly. If we don't see instant success, we lose motivation. But every meaningful achievement takes time. A seed does not become a tree in one day. The effort we make today may not give visible rewards immediately, but it builds a foundation for future growth. Understanding this truth allows us to make decisions with patience, knowing that the long-term consequence is worth the wait. Another reason short-term thinking dominates is fear of missing out. People fear losing temporary pleasures, so they compromise the bigger vision. But in reality, long-term fulfillment is much deeper than short-term excitement. Short-term pleasure fades quickly, while long-term achievement stays with us as pride, peace, and stability. Every decision we take is like planting a seed. Some seeds give quick fruits but vanish soon, while others take time but grow into strong trees that give shade and nourishment for years. When we choose with the long term in mind, we choose roots instead of leaves, substance instead of surface. The ability to weigh short term versus long term consequences is not just about success, it is about building a life that is meaningful, sustainable, and truly fulfilling. Wisdom over impulse is a principle that has the power to transform the quality of our lives. Every day we face situations where our emotions push us to act instantly, without reflection. Impulse is fast, emotional, and reactive. Wisdom, on the other hand, is slow, thoughtful, and grounded. The difference between the two is often the difference between regret and peace. Choosing wisdom over impulse means pausing, observing, and then acting in a way that aligns with our values and long-term well-being, rather than being carried away by momentary urges. Impulse is natural. It comes from our emotions, instincts, and desires. When someone offends us, the impulse is to shout back. When we see something tempting, the impulse is to grab it. When we feel hurt, the impulse is to cut ties or make a rash decision. In the heat of the moment, these reactions may feel satisfying, but soon after, they often leave us with consequences that cannot be undone. Wisdom teaches us that not every thought deserves to be spoken, not every emotion needs to be acted upon, and not every desire must be fulfilled immediately. Consider the example of anger. When we act on impulse in anger, we may say words that damage relationships permanently. In that moment, it feels powerful to release the emotion, but wisdom reminds us that silence or calm words can prevent regret later. Similarly, in financial matters, impulse may push us to spend recklessly on things we don't truly need just for temporary joy. Wisdom, however, encourages discipline and foresight, reminding us that money saved or invested brings stability and freedom in the future. Wisdom is not about denying emotions, it is about guiding them. It allows us to acknowledge what we feel while also considering the bigger picture. Impulse acts only in the present moment, but wisdom takes into account both the present and the future. For example, if you are tempted to quit a job on impulse because of frustration, wisdom would encourage you to pause, reflect, and perhaps plan a transition rather than walking away in anger. That way, your decision is not just emotional but also practical. The ability to choose wisdom over impulse comes from self-awareness. The more aware you are of your emotions, the less control they have over you. A person who observes their thoughts and feelings is less likely to be controlled by them. This awareness creates space between stimulus and response, and in that space lies the power of wisdom. Impulse eliminates the gap and rushes into action, while wisdom uses that gap to reflect and then respond thoughtfully. In the long run, living by impulse creates chaos, but living with wisdom builds peace and stability. Impulse gives quick pleasure, but often long-term pain, while wisdom may require patience, but brings long-lasting fulfillment. Every time you face a choice, you stand at the crossroad of impulse and wisdom. One path is quick and tempting, the other is slower but meaningful. The quality of your life depends on which path you choose more often. Wisdom over impulse is not about being perfect, but about learning to pause long enough to choose the response that serves your highest good.